Tonight on the Muskie Daily, Muskegon University's radio station gives thanks to its supporters on College Radio Day.
A new instructor of theater is hired at Muskegon.
And the latest women's soccer action.
Hello, welcome to the Muskie Daily. I'm Matt Triola.
I'm Mary Beth Hotel. Colleges nationwide are celebrating College Radio Day on October 2nd. The day at Muskegon is marked with 24 hours of broadcasting to raise awareness of the importance of college radio. College radio is important to upcoming artists.
Like, oh my gosh, I never realized fully how much college radio does for a lot of different artists, getting them kicked off.
College Radio Day is an opportunity for stations nationwide to celebrate their communities for their continued support. Lisa Marshall, station manager, tells what College Radio Day means for the listeners.
So in terms of asking the question of what is it for the listener, it's our way to say thank you to the community and the college, in our case, for thank you for supporting us all these years on the air.
Be sure to tune in to 90.7 on October 2nd for the annual on-air event.
The One Love program took place on September 16th for the Greek student body. One Love educates students about healthy and violent relationships with the help of a 1.5-hour video. The 125 Greek students who attended were quiet during the video and engaged in conversation following the presentation with the project leaders. The long-term goal for One Love is for the program to be entirely student-ran so that the student body can take relationship violence more seriously. Ellen stresses that if you or someone you know is dealing with relationship violence, don't be afraid to reach out.
Zanesville community leaders have come together with the creation of the program intended to get Muskegon County residents reading together. On the same page, Muskegon is a new reading initiative promoting literacy, community interaction, community history, and bridging the intergenerational gap. The group has selected 4 books by the Zanesville author Zane Grey, and over 500 copies of those books have been donated by the community sponsors.
Muskegon University hired a new staff member for the Communication Media Theater Department. James Bohr, instructor of theater, started his acting career at the age of 12. He later on performed at the Louisville Children's Theater throughout his high school career. After high school, Bohr studied at the Goodman Theater College in Chicago. He later transferred to the Catholic University of America. After he studied there, he got his master's degree in directing and at Florida State University. There, he worked professionally in theater and directing for 30 years and also in New York City.
There is a new play coming to campus, Proof, directed by Professor James Bohr and performed by students. Bohr gives a brief synopsis of what the play is about.
About a family. It's set in Chicago, right at that current, and it's set on the back porch of a math professor, a genius math professor who has recently died, and his daughter, Catherine, his 25-year-old daughter, who has taken care of her father through the last 5 years of his life when he got very mentally ill, as genius often turns into mental illness. And it's the weekend, it's the day of the funeral, and her sister flies in from New York, her sister Claire. And there's a grad student who, Hal, who is going through her father's notebooks that he wrote, looking for any kind of math, anything that's important. And a notebook is found with one of the most advanced mathematical theories to come along in the past 100 years. And the authorship of this proof, this mathematical proof, is at the heart of the play, and who wrote it, Was it her father or was it Catherine, who is also a mathematician?
Proof opens on October 21st and runs through October 25th.
We'll be taking a short break, but stay tuned to find out to combat the common cold.
That and more when we return on the Muskie Daily.
We have the music. We have the cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
It's cold season, a time many of us experience the sniffling and sneezing from the common cold. It turns out Americans suffer from over 1 billion colds each year. But how to best prevent or treat the cold virus? Reporter Holly Pfeiffer gives us more insight in today's Health Minute.
We all know the symptoms: a sore throat, sneezing, and a runny nose. Colds are all too common this time of year, but a new review from the Canadian Medical Association contains tips on how we can fight back. The researchers looked at results from 67 trials and found that good old-fashioned hand washing may be the best way to prevent catching a cold. Studies in children found that those taking zinc had fewer colds than other kids. The researchers say that adults may benefit as well. Probiotics may be helpful to ward off colds, but vitamin C, the gold standard of cold fighters, did not seem to help the average patient, nor did echinacea. So what happens if you do get sick? Medications like ibuprofen and acetaminophen help relieve the aches and pains, but they will not make the cold go away any faster. And almost all colds are caused by viruses, so taking antibiotics is not recommended. Cold symptoms usually go away in about 7 to 10 days. If you aren't getting relief by then, see your doctor. It may be more than a cold. For today's Health Minute, I'm Martha Shade.
Happy birthday, U.S. military. On this day in 1789, the U.S. Army was legalized. This was during George Washington's first term as president. Washington made sure the U.S. troops were established during the early days of the country. A while before Congress made a decision, Washington stressed the importance of the improving military through the Constitution.
An era is ending at the Naval Station Mayport in Florida. Mayport's final frigate will decommission today, and a newer batch of combat ships will replace them. The USS Simpson is one of the only naval ships to have sunk an enemy vessel, the use of the onboard weaponry. The Simpson has done much in its 30-year career, including counter-narcotics missions to working with foreign nations. Some USS Simpson sailors will be assigned to a new ship, while others will stay at the Mayport after the ship is decommissioned. We'll be taking a short break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return, Matt will have your local weather update.
After that, we'll have your Muskie Sports update.
This is Will Mullins, and I want to encourage you to watch Chapel on Orbit TV Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Thanks.
Find out what decisions are being made at Student Senate that could affect your campus organization by tuning into Orbit TV on Tuesdays at 11 in the evening, and again on Wednesday through Sunday at 10 in the morning and 6 and 11 in the evening.
Tonight's forecast shows about a 90% chance of rain and possibly a storm with a low around 60 degrees. Rain may reach 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. For tomorrow, showers likely before 8 in the morning. It'll be cloudy with a high near 65. There'll be a 60% chance of rain with amounts between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch possible. For tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a low of around 49. Stay tuned for Muskie Sports as the women's soccer team visits St. Vincent coming up next after the break. The Muskegon women's soccer team lost to St. Vincent at home on Saturday 2-1 in the annual breast cancer awareness game. The lone Muskie goal came in the 37th minute by way of sophomore Miranda Bishop, her first goal of the season. The Muskegon students athletes couldn't hold the lead in the second half, allowing 2 St. Vincent goals to give to the Bearcats the lead. Junior Liz Mitchell started all 90 minutes in the net, recording of 6 saves. With the loss of the Muskies fall to 1-7-1 on the year, and will finish out non-conference play tonight on the road against Bethany. The volleyball team had a very successful weekend, posting a perfect 4-0 record at the OAC CHAC Challenge. The Muskie wins came via a 3-1 victory over Defiance and a straight set win over Mount St. Joseph on Friday. Then in an epic 5-set battle against Transylvania and another straight set victory over Hanover on Saturday. The Muskies now stand at 13-5 on the season, with their next match coming on Saturday. The Lays will be on the road to open OAC play against Baldwin Wallace and Berea. The Muskegon football team fell short on the road under the lights in Bexley Saturday night, falling to Capital 34-31. The offense had a good night on the ground, putting up 242 yards rushing, led by Melvin Smith's 92 yards. Smith also scored 3 of the Muskie touchdowns on the night. The defense didn't have an answer for the Crusader running attack, surrendering 414 total rushing yards to Capital, 207 of them coming from Brent Walton. With the loss, the Muskies fall to 0-3 on the year and will next play Baldwin Wallace at home on Saturday. The men's soccer team got a solid road win against St. Vincent Saturday, downing the Bearcats 3-0. The Muskies got all 3 of their goals in the second half from Alex First, Zach, and Gage Toy. Gabe Crowell started the entire match in net, getting 5 saves on the night. Chase Michael Hilliard led the Muskies with 4 shots in the match and recorded the assist on the goal from First. With the win, the Muskies improved to 3-5 on the year and are back in action tonight as they travel to Washington and Jefferson. We'll be right back on the Muskie Daily to take a look at the Varsity Review talent show happening on campus. So stay tuned and for when we get back after the break.
Cameras. We have the talent. Orbit Media, where the magic happens.
The 2015 Nibbles and Sips wine tasting event is starting this Saturday, October 3rd from 6 to 8 in the evening at Terracotta Vineyards in New Concord. The event is for undergraduates who are 21 and over. The first 45 undergraduates who register on OrgSync will be going to the event. Students can sample a variety of wine styles and learn how to pair food properly. This is a great opportunity for students to professionally socialize with Muskingum alumni, faculty, and staff. There will be shuttles that will take students to the Terracotta Vineyards. All the participants of Nibbles and Sips must ride in the shuttles to the event. Shuttles will begin to load behind the TOC at 5:30 in the evening.
Muskegon University students are encouraged to show off their talent at the University Varsity Review show. There will be auditions held on October 5th and 16th. Any student who wishes to audition needs to reserve a spot on OrgSync. If chosen, students will perform at the event and will be held on October 23rd.
That's all for today's edition of the Muskie Daily. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for more local news.
You can also tune in to WMCO 90.7 and pick up a copy of the Black Magenta to keep up to date.
Good night, New Concords.